Very good morning and welcome to day two of the 9-day Mind Power Challenge. Let's continue with the memory today. So, I want to share about the process of memory. So, the steps involved. So, I call it as a 3R process. So, there are 3Rs, which are registration, retention, and recall. Now, registration is simply how you put the information from the source into the data bank, into your memory. Maybe from the book, what you read, maybe from a video, maybe from a conversation, how you're placing the information from the source into your memory, that is registration. Retention is simply the holding capacity. How long can you hold on the information which is there inside? That's retention. Third one is recall. Recall is ability to bring out the information, searching the whole data bank, and whenever you need something, you should be able to bring it out. So that is recall. So registration, retention, and recall, these three steps comprise the process called memory. For most of the people, they actually have a collapse between memory and recall. Instead of saying I don't recall, they say I don't have a good memory. So memory is recall is a process of memory, a subset. All right. So we'll talk about that in a while. Now let's talk about why do people forget? Why do we forget? So I just want to share something, when I was in standard 7 or standard 8, probably, there's something which is interesting used to happen. So sometimes my teacher walks into the classroom and she starts sharing some lecture or the session, and I was busy with making a cartoon or playing book cricket or things like that. And I used to have this feeling when I go back home. I was always thinking, oh, today what my teacher told me I cannot remember. Knowing what I know now, when I look back, I say, hey, it's not a memory problem. I did not even register in the first place. Now, how can I forget something which I did not even get? My teacher was giving her lesson. I did not even get it in the first place, and then in the evening I'm innocently claiming that my memory is not good. It's not right. Okay, so let's see why people forget. Why do we forget? So there could be two reasons. One is the information is not registered in the first place. Like I gave you the example. So I did not register the information, but I said I forget, so you did not register. Now why people don't register, there could be few reasons, there could be a lot of reasons. I just want to share a couple of them just to get the ball rolling. Now, one is maybe there's no interest, or maybe one got distracted, or maybe one is preoccupied. If I have no interest, or if I get distracted, or if I'm preoccupied, of course I'll not be able to register. And if I don't register, there is no way in which I can retain or recall. All right, so that's about the one of the reasons. The second reason is not being able to recall. There is no problem with the memory, it's only the recall challenge. How many times it has happened to you that your mind went blank in examination hall and later on you can recollect? It happens, right? Or you forget somebody's name at the moment you need it and later you recall it. So it's not a problem of memory at that time. It's basically you're not able to recall it. And why you're not able to recall? There could be some reasons. Let me share with you the critical reasons why people find it difficult to recall. One is there is no practice in recalling. There is no practice in recalling. Now, what I mean by this, so let me ask you a question. So this just introspect on this point. In the last maybe 1 week or 1 month or 3 months, what have you consciously done? Consciously, what have you consciously done which can be qualified as a recall activity, conscious practice of recall? I'm sure it's very less or even zero. When somebody does something which is less or zero, the result will also be less or zero. As simple as that. So people don't have a practice in recall. The second one I want to talk about is no bandwidth. No bandwidth is like basically no capacity to recall because the resources are not enough. Now, what I mean by no bandwidth, let's say, for example, I'm running through an emotion and I'm very much angry or frustrated or whatever emotion is running in my head. Or maybe I'm thinking about 200 things. Oh, when is this corona going to get off? Or what should I tell in my day 3 of the challenge? Or anything. If I'm thinking a lot of things in my head, I would not have a capacity to go inside and bring out the information. So quick one I want to tell you is, whenever you go on any negative emotion, especially negative emotions, anything like anger, frustration, sadness, jealousy, or anything of this sort, your memory will not function, as in your recall will not be able to work in a proper manner, because we'll not have enough bandwidth to get the information out. So one is practice challenge, two is no bandwidth. Now let's come and see how do we activate the recall. So for activating recall, I would like to recommend three things which you can do, which are very, very simple. Now, first one is start with instant recall. What I mean by start with instant recall, whenever you get some information, immediately recall it at that moment. Now, why do you have to even do that? When you recall something now, you will be able to recall it later as well, or it becomes easier to recall. I want to tell you one thing: the first recall is always important, it's very critical, and it's also difficult. The first recall will always be critical and difficult. So what people miss out is they do the recall only at the time of need. All right, so it is like, trying to dig a well when you're thirsty. You should be practicing recall on a constant basis. So instant recall is simply trying to recall any information coming up. So let's say you're having a conversation with somebody, and you can actually rephrase and say it out, so you're actually recalling. So let me give a very quick example. Let's say I call one of my friends and says, hey, I just want to meet you today in your house. How do I reach your place? So let's say he says, from where? So I'd say, okay, from I'm taking a metro, so from Saket metro. So it says, okay, from Saket Metro, you get out of the train, take the exit number 3, go straight, take a right turn. Then you have this Sony showroom. Then after that, you take a left turn, and he will give some information, which is giving in simple English. I actually understand that. And let's say I decide not to go to his place at that moment. And maybe 3 days later or a week later, I say, oh, I want to go to my friend's house. So I'll go to Saket metro station, get off, and probably I don't even remember the exit number because I've never been there. So I'll have to again call, hey, can you please tell me how to reach your place? Then you will tell the same thing. Okay, get out of the exit number 3, then go straight. You have a Sony center, take a left, and whatever he just tells me. And if I just follow it, 1 month later or 5 months later, if I want to get to his place, I'll only call him to check whether he is in house or not. I will not have to call him for directions again, because I have been there, done it already, right? So if I can recall something now, it will be easier for me to recall later. All right, so that's what I'm talk about the instant recall. When you instantly activate your recall, you can be sure that that is there with you as a mechanism. I mean, your registration is already done in that. The second one is called an event recall. Now, what's an event recall? Event recall is very simple. We have a lot of events which are happening in our life every single day. So event can be as simple as a 5-minute video which you're seeing right now, it's an event. Or you go to a restaurant for a meal along with the family, that's an event. You have a conversation with your customer, it's an event. You go for I mean, you walk the dog, that's an event. So there are a lot of events which happen in the life every day. So what I want you to do is just look at these events, and when the event is over, when you're transiting into next event, maybe spend a maybe say 30 seconds time or 1 minute or couple of minutes, depending on the event and depending on how much time at disposal. I want you to recall what has happened in the event. Now what you're doing here, you're consciously activating your recall mechanism. Now if you can say that, it's like outgoing muscles. Your mind will be comfortable in digging out the information, pulling it out, because you're making it in practice. Third one is called random recall. Now, random recall is, as the name suggests, it's very random. So let's say today evening you're having your cup of coffee, and you can say, oh, let me recollect all the friends of my high school. So maybe you can actually think of them. Or maybe you can say, let me recollect all these songs which I can remember of Muhammad Rafi. I mean, just randomly. Or you can say, okay, let me recollect my chemistry teachers' names, all my chemistry teachers' names in my life so far, right? So randomly think of things and recall. Now, what happens by this? You're actually activating your recall muscles, if you can call that. There's no physical muscle as just, but it's a recall activity. So you're activating the recall mechanism that will make you stronger to become a good in recalling. All right, now let's talk about today's challenge. What I want you to do today, the few things, few simple things which you can do, which will take your memory to the next level. So first one is activate your recall starting today and for today. Today, consciously focus on activating your recall. Now, you can do it by instant recall, you can do it by event recall, you can do random recall, you can do any of those recalls. So, activate your recall, consciously work on recalling today. Second one is stay calm. When you forget something, instead of getting emotional, instead of getting hyper, just stay calm, and that will actually help you to do a better recall. The moment you get hyper, the moment you get anxious, your mind's energy is spread out, thinned out in that. So when you stay calm and composed, you'll still have a capacity to, come back and check your mechanism. All right, the third one I want to do, you to do, is teach or share. Now whatever you have learned today, either teach it to somebody or share it, or maybe you can make a video and put it on YouTube or Facebook. If you do that, also please tag me. All right, so teach or share, that will help you to make sure that you actually take the learning better for yourself. So a few things I would like to share. So please do like, comment and share. Okay, if you have any challenge, if you think that I can help you in any of the memory or focus or learning requirements or challenge which you have, please put it in the comments in the YouTube or on my Facebook. So I'll be, that could be a content for the next videos. All right, please do share it with your friends and family. And I would like you to look at the mind map later on. And I'm also going to share the mind map with you in the description below. And if you missed out yesterday's uh, challenge, that's also there for you in the link. So that's all for today. And stay focused and have a great memory. Thank you very much. Bye.